go to one more black belt match in the heavyweight division. Chris Regan from Gracie Barra Derby is going to be taking on Greg Creel from Pedro Bessa 99 Jiu-Jitsu. Just a couple of moments we'll go to John Jarvis to bring our final competitors of the evening to the ring. Hope you've enjoyed all the action here. We've had some fantastic fights from the Tough Invitational 2. And you know what? We've got one more for you.
Next up, in the main event of the evening, this is a black belt 20-minute match. First up in the red corner, coming from GB Derby, Chris Regan. Next up in the blue corner, representing Pedro Bessa and 99, Greg Creel.
I was trying to get it out here. I want to live presidents. I want to pull up, head spin, get flat. I got 6 jobs. I don't get it. I don't get it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Thiago Monteiro Borges, our referee, brings the competitors to the mat for our final fight of the evening here at the Tough Invitational 2. Greg Creel in the black gi, representing Pedro Bessa 99 Jiu-Jitsu, taking on Gracie Barra Derby's Chris Regan. Both guys no stranger to these super fight experiences, both having done it before. Chris Regan having a very good showing recently at Grapple Nation and showing his wrestling early as he dives on the low single. What a level change and penetration step that was. Hustling now, good sprawl from Greg Creel. He's probably going to come out on the top position here.
He's got to be careful of his left arm. It's got to be tight. He's got to put it back in now.
So
he can't leave that outstretched for a long period of time, because otherwise he will be brought home.
Oh, looking for the back take and the crucifix. Greg Creel really countering what was a risky opening move from Chris Regan, and with the back control now, certainly with one hook.
Oh, just one under, one over. You get a very good control with that position there. But he's got a deep choke there.
Yeah, can't quite see the grip he's got with the hands. Chris Regan forced to defend early here though. Trying to scrape Greg Creel off the back.
I just said earlier, when you get put in submission attempts very early, it could be demoralising for the other guy.
We saw just a hint of the explosion Chris Regan can put into his level change. There's a great wrestling entry, just not quite able to drag that ankle through for the takedown. And now Greg Creel looking to make this position pay early here. A long
Chris Regan
time
just
still
shaking
to
his
go.
head, saying nothing's on to his corner.
At the same time, though, he is in a predicament. Let's see if Creel looks to take that arm. Good block of the hook from Chris Regan. Just trying to limit the time on the back.
Sean McDonough in the corner of Greg Creel.
Oh, and Creel's got a very tight grip around the head and arm with the legs here, looking to straighten an arm here. Oh, and Chris Regan pops his head out. And we're going to see what the half guard of Greg Creel is like now. Knee shield in for him. Using that left elbow and forearm to really monitor the far side of the lapel. Reverse De La Riva for him. Not going to work with the left leg though to create a frame. Happy to sit down.
So the early exchanges there were with Greg Creel, and Chris now seems just become trying to get the upper hand now.
Yeah, very
with that Rodolfo Vieira-like pass, with just putting that forearm across the face, making him look the other way whilst trying to knee slide now.
Yeah, very strong forearm pressure. Greg Creel looking to invert, and he comes out on top. What a fantastic sweep from the Welshman. Wrestling again for Chris Regan.
Does it? Yes.
Yeah, Greg Creel just a bit too fast for Chris Regan there, who looked to use the wrestling to good effect.
I think that's what the design of this match could be. It's the pace of Greg Creel. It's quite fun for a guy who weighs 95, 96 kilos.
Yeah, his counter movement was phenomenal there, to spin round and attack the back. And again, Chris Regan, he went for the low single a second time, finds himself having to defend his back for a second time. But nothing's in till it's in. This is a submission-only rule set taking place under IBJJF rules, with the one exception that knee reaping is fully allowed here. And Greg Creel looking to get the hips involved, make himself very heavy with a lot of pressure. And the referee is calling Perot here. We're going to try and reset in the middle. But John, quite a complex position to try and find here.
I'm not too sure how much. I'm not too sure if Greg actually had the submission on that, or had not a submission, but when you do a good position to get into one. So it's going to be very hard for Monstro to start this.
I've got to say, I have no idea what position they really ended in. But then again, I'm not the referee, and these guys,
Sure
Alain Pozo and Thiago Monstro Borges, very experienced referees. They will have been through this position a lot of times. And Creel looking
for a crucifix position.
Perhaps for the crucifix now.
He steps
just
for a knee bar. Straight to a footlock now.
Going on the leg. Can't quite see the grip for him though. Regan looking to circle all the way out, and he's going to come up on top here, is he? Knee slice pass again for Chris Regan. Oh, good off-balancing technique by Greg Creel, who has had, I have to say, the calmest look possible on his face throughout this exchange. Just shouting to Jamie Hughes in his corner, saying that he can't hear him, and Jamie Hughes needs to speak up a little bit. And we're going to reset once more in the middle.
Both very experienced guys here, and maybe just trying to take a little bit of a breath here.
It's a long drive home for whoever comes off the worst end of this encounter this evening.
Yeah.
Trip all the way back to Abertillery, Wales for Greg Creel, and all the way back up to Derby for Chris Regan. Those of you not familiar with UK geography, that's a good 3.5 hours for each of them. So close guard now for Greg Creel. We're going to see what he can do here. Immediately looking to underhook all the way through on the far leg. We're going to hip up on the shoulder, generate a bit of force and leverage.
I mean, here in the main event, Josh, I mean, let's look back on some of the matches that we've had today. Kane Isaac versus Jay Arnold up first with a really good flying triangle from Kane. One of the contenders for submissions of the night. I didn't think it was going to get beaten, but then little Cameron Hibbert, the silent assassin himself, I think just over a minute.
Flying triangle, about a minute in. We also saw a couple of fantastic purple belt matches. Lee Simpson, Stephen Playfair putting on a hell of a show. Lee Simpson really under the cosh in that one, but managing to pull that one out of the bag.
I think that's one of my favourite fights so far. Very back and forth, very even. Stephen Playfair got a very advantageous position for 5 minutes.
Greg Creel elevating with the sweep, now looking to dive on the arm again, but not able to maintain that position. Chris Regan trying to get some sort of head control here. Greg Creel burying in as hard as he can, trying to protect that posture, protect that neck. May have just given up the crossface there, but heaving his opponent back up on top of him to generate a bit of momentum. Let's not forget, of course, we had a couple of fantastic brown belt matches earlier. Sean McDonough victorious over Tyrone Elliott, and Ariaris Fanmaz taking a win over the very formidable Jamie Hughes. Greg Creel again looking to invert. A lot of success with that sweep so far.
And how can we forget Fight Zone's own Powell and Marco? Both, I think their fans put on a good shot. What's happened here? Oh, Nook Bull shot.
Yeah, so Greg Creel tried to pull guard. Chris Regan, unfortunately, found his way through with the shin. And I think we're going to give Greg Creel a couple of minutes to recover here.
No one likes to see that.
So we're going to reset here. One leg up in combat base for Chris Regan. Greg Creel looking to work his De La Riva game here in a big back step.
But Greg was very quick to get the other leg.
Oh, and it's going
to
be interesting to see if Creel can hold on to this ankle. He's in a very strange position, but Chris Regan could step his way to mount.
He steps over, so it's more of an orthodox half guard here, but Greg's just the wrong side. He needs to get on the other hips, other side of the hips to the floor. Bit of a hard position now, because Greg can really drive down his weight in this position and slide his knee, his ankle out into mount. Rolling back take here from Chris, maybe into a knee bar.
Oh, calf crush. And he looks like he's got a lot of pressure on this.
Tight.
Greg Creel grimacing a little bit.
Putting down on actually the ankle that's bandaged up as well. So I'm guessing.
And he's shaking his head and saying no, but this is well, it looked like a very dominant roll into the truck for Chris Regan, who's now going to probably end up with a back take off it. Climbs the leg high, and Greg Creel does a great job of putting his back on the mat. Going straight to the footlock position. What a transition here from these guys.
We've got a knee bar, a toe. He can go for a toe here, I think, Josh.
Oh, I got to say, that calf crush from Chris Regan really did look
tight.
Very tight indeed. With Greg Creel doing a great job of keeping his back on the mat, creating a frame, and he's looking for the knee bar now. And 50-50.
Lightweight jiu-jitsu from these two heavyweights. Both of them having a laugh at each other now.
So we've already seen 50-50 a few times tonight.
Are we going to get a footlock today?
It's amazing, isn't it? The amount of times, I cannot tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that we've had footlock attempts tonight to off balance, to sweep, to change position, to defend in the transition. It really is incredible, but yet no one has actually managed to submit somebody with a footlock yet. So Greg Creel on the offensive here. Chris Regan in the white gi, sitting up to get his hands on the defensive. Just over 10 minutes left here. Halfway through our main event. of the Tough Invitational 2 here from the Circus Tavern in Essex. My name's Josh Palmer. Yeah, 10 minutes gone already. My name's Josh Palmer. I joined Cage, Matt side tonight, sorry. So used to saying Cage side. By John Jarvis.
It's been a pleasure being here with you, Josh. Been a good night of...
it has been a fantastic night of submission-only matches. Most fights, it has to be said, going the way of submission. And are we going to get the crescendo in our main event here? Once more, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Tough Fightwear, Valor Fightwear, Predator, Punch Strong, and Cannons UK. And all of you who've joined us on our live YouTube feed on this US Independence Day. 28th of November, will be the next show. Great 8-man tournament with a 2K cash prize there. But Greg Creel and Chris Regan still fighting out in this 50-50. Creel trying to strip the grips. Has the safer of the leg positions at the moment, though.
.50-50 guard's been used quite a bit today.
So we've just been let know by our staff here that 9 out of 13 of tonight's matches have finished by submission. How impressed are you with that finish ratio, John?
That's very good. I mean, for a submission-only show to have such a high percentage of submissions, we couldn't have done it without our competitors today who have all put it on the line. No one's really sat back and been safe. Everyone's gone for a submission. Like these two guys right now.
Yeah, Chris Regan looking to turn into a knee bar here.
And Craig Creel's going back for that foot.
Oh, and he's going belly down here.
Chris is
can't quite maintain the grip.
I think he let him know that was tight.
And Greg Creel back to the 50-50 now. Yeah, it has to be said, John, it's been a fantastic 5 hours of submission grappling so far. If you've been with us for that full 5 hours, we thank you indeed and ask that you stay here for about 9 more. 9 minutes, that should be.
9 more fights, God, couldn't be here all day. Both guys just having a look at the time. I'm sure that those bright lights flashing down on his it's affecting their body temperature.
Oh, and Greg Creel looking again for the knee bar. Chris Regan. Yeah, Chris Regan trying to defend. I mean, this can be quite a stagnant position, but both guys, or I have to say, Greg Creel probably throwing the better of submission attempts from this position.
I really can't see what Chris is doing here, but he's arching his hips down to the floor. It makes me kind of think that he's got something, but I can't see from this position.
Oh, and he gets the tap, belly down footlock for Greg Creel.
Finally, Josh, we have a footlock submission.
And it's very fitting it's in the main event. What a fantastic performance from Greg Creel. Stayed calm throughout.
Excellent match.
Getting the win done there.
And the main event winner is Greg Creel. Thank you to everyone on the live stream.
Please join me. Big round of applause for our main event winner, 5 footlock, Greg Creel.
Again, thank you everyone on the live stream for tuning in. That's it from me, John Jarvis, and Josh Palmer.
I'm here with our winner of our main event, Greg Creel. Greg, yeah, that's how it rings out in these lights. Were you surprised that off the bat he shot for what looked like a very good low single early?
No, if you watch the videos, you can see the videos just low single. It's all okay, I was going to 2-second position, but don't even feel too much, but I ended up getting back. I knew I couldn't spin him straight away, so I saw this man again as well halfway through, so that's why I went 50-50 and tried to play a bit more patient rather than.
How much time have you yourself been putting into the football game? Because you spent a great deal of that fight. Locked in 50-50, locked into leg attachments, and really you were attacking knee bars, footlocks throughout.
Well, if you know, if you play with pedal backside, Jimmy Hughes and all the guys, they got real good footlocks, so you've got to be sharp and come to part of that as well, you know what's going on. So, you know when to relax, you know when to move, you know when to go for everything. Thanks to all the guys in Wales watching. I know I have 5 messages on my Facebook. I'm overwhelmed, to be honest with you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're proud. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the main event, Creel! Thank you very much for joining us here.